So we were not here last Sabbath because we were over in Michigan. We had gone to a music festival in a little town of Everett, Michigan, where apparently for 60 years they've been doing this music festival every year by the Original Dulcimer Players Club, which is like all mountain music, banjos, ukuleles, dulcimers, auto harps, violins, fiddling. It was really cool. We had a great time. It was our first time going. And after the first 2 days of the festival, then on Sabbath, we were going to make our way back down to go to a church between Everett and Berrien, and then after that we'd be able to come home. So we left that morning in our camper. We got all packed up, headed down the road. We were making plenty of good time to be able to get to church just on time. And we were on the highway, tootling along, no problem, and suddenly the vehicle began to do this. Not the sound, but that's how it felt. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was big pieces of tire flying everywhere. Oh, not a flat tire. This is the worst possible thing that could happen. Well, it wasn't the worst possible thing, but it felt like it at the time. So now I'm on the highway trying to make sure, am I stable enough? Can I pull over? Is there a shoulder? What if people behind me are going to not realize that I'm slowing down? And what am I going to do? And where's the next exit anyways? And I don't know this part of Michigan at all. And then, do we even have a spare tire? I know we blew a tire before. Did we replace that spare tire? What am I going to do? And so in about 15 seconds, I went from, what a nice day. We're traveling along with the whole family in our camper, and we're going to go to church, and it's just going to be wonderful, to, and it showed. My hands were tight on the steering wheel. I was kind of hyperventilating a little bit, looking in all the mirrors and camera at the same time and figuring out what to do and just talking a mile a minute. Oh, no, this is just what we needed. Oh, great. Now there's no way we're going to get to church on time. Oh, my goodness. Do we even have a spare tire? What are we gonna... All those things I just said, they all came out of my mouth right after I thought them. And in the meantime, right here over my back shoulder are the two boys that they'd been sitting. And one of them goes, hey, I forget which one said which. One goes, hey, we should pray. And the other one, I think we're going to be okay. Jesus will figure it out. Which strangely enough made me feel less happy. What do you mean you guys are having this much calmness about the situation? This is a stressful event right now. It's not time to be like calm and patient and waiting upon the Lord to renew your strength and mount you up on eagle's tires. And then Marlise leaned over and said, honey, look it, the boys are trying to be patient and have faith in the situation. Why don't you just try to do that too? But that did let the air out of my over full steam pipe. Okay, fine, yes, you're probably right. We pull off to the side. I went outside to look things over, and as I did, I was able to just focus on the cars zipping by and the smell of burnt rubber from underneath. And then I also started hearing the birds singing and hear the wind moving in the tall grass next to the highway there, and started realizing, yeah, right. I mean, they make a good point. First of all, this could have been a lot worse. For example, it could have been one of the front tires. Our RV has two sets of tires in the back. So if one blows, as this has done to us before, the other tire that's right next to it takes a strain. You're okay. You're not like dragging a whole corner of your camper down the highway. If it had been a front tire, it would have been a much bigger problem. And it's the inner one, so, it's not as visible right now. So if I have to drive this thing for a few miles, I'm not going to have people honking at me going, your tire is flat. And actually, matter of fact, yeah, we do have a spare back in here. Oh, that's wonderful. And where I eventually reached after about 20 minutes was where Eliam and Corin had been the whole time. And which was where Jesus wants us to be the whole time. Which is why he said, with amazement in his voice, to a centurion, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in this RV. Oh, not even in Israel. But that's what Jesus would have said to me at that moment if he'd been actually looking and talking to me during those first 30 to 45 seconds. He would have had to say to me, I haven't seen great faith in the front seat of this RV. But look behind you. There's some faith back there. Why don't you use that? I'm grateful that even in times when we can sometimes feel like our faith is kind of like, God, there's no way. I've had faith in other situations. That was reasonable. There's no way. I'm so glad that in those times that those around us who have faith can help us, can share that faith with us. Isn't it nice that the attitude that you bring to a situation, if it is an attitude of calmness, gratitude, patience, peace, and waiting to see what God will do, can actually help those around you to see things that way too? And I will tell you, that works at any age group. I mean, anybody in this room can do it. But there's something particularly powerful when a young person, you people who don't know how life works yet, who you can't possibly understand all the things that are going to go on and the cost and the time and the delay. How can you possibly understand? Yeah, you young people, when you show that faith, that cuts through all that other thinking and worrying that we adults have, with all that extra wisdom we carry around in our brains. It cuts right through all that stress and goes right to our hearts and says, hey, have faith like a little child, like a grain of mustard seed. It's okay. And it turned out okay. In fact, I got to tell you the last part of the story. So we pulled over, found where the nearest tire place was supposed to be that was open on a Sabbath at 9:30 in the morning. And we made our way there. And there was no sign for the building. There were no trucks parked in the building area at all. There was no obvious entryway. I walked around the building, nobody there. I'm like, great. So we drove 7 or 8 miles off the highway to this place that's not even open. Started to worry a little bit. Okay, no, we're praying about it. I know the boys and Marlies are praying back in the RV. See what we find out. Got around the backside of the building. And there was a guy working on a tractor in this open bay. His music blasting. He saw me. Oh, hey, sorry, just a minute. He turned the music down. I said, hi, is this no longer the, I forget what they call it, Mid-Michigan Truck Repair and Tire Center? No, they closed down about 6 months ago. I said, oh, guess it's still live on Google. Here's my situation. I told him. He said, well, actually, I'm the assistant manager at Wonderland Tire, which is just 10 minutes down that way, and I know that they're going to be open for another hour. So if you go ahead and turn around and head down right that road, just stay on it. 10 miles, it'll be on your right, and I'll call ahead and let them know you're coming. What are the chances that the manager of a tire shop is going to be working in the place that was abandoned by a prior tire shop, and it just happens to be there at the moment that I need to know where to go? God had everything worked out. Why was I stressing over this? I am so grateful that God watches out for us, and that even when we ourselves might not see it and be ready to understand it, that we can take the faith from those around us who are able to see with those eyes of faith, and we can still walk on His path and let Him handle the details. Thank you for listening.